Hello and welcome to The Insider, a show designed to clue you into the biggest news, events and announcements inside the video games industry, discussing with you some things you may know, some things you may not, and the glue that holds it all together is a little bit of my own opinion. My name is Paul James, thank you very much for watching, and let's get for another episode. Anthem. It's a highly anticipated game coming from BioWare and EA. And this past weekend, courtesy of PAX West and a new trailer that was published on the official Anthem YouTube channel, we've gotten a swath of new information relating to the way the game's story is going to be told, something that a lot of people were questioning over the last few months. With that information in mind, we're going to break it all down in this week's episode of The Insider. So let's go.
At the heart of Anthem is the concept of Our World, My Story. The unique combination of a dynamic, ever-changing world and a powerful personal story.
So let's start with the basics of what BioWare is looking to achieve with Anthem. This is a shared world game in the same vein as Destiny, Destiny 2, The Division, the soon-to-be released Division 2, and we're going to see more of these shared world games in the future. It's a game in that sort of mold where we're in a shared world with other players. There's still a single player style story that we're looking to pursue, but you get to experience it with other people. And what we've learned courtesy of this PAX West presentation, as well as the new trailer, is that BioWare is looking to implement what they're calling an Our World, My Story sort of approach, which essentially is what this subgenre is anyway. That we're in a world together, but we're still going on our own individual stories. They just happen to be the same one. But it's how they're looking to do it, which is the really interesting part of this entire topic. They're looking to combine deep narrative, which we know they're super capable of, in the form of what we've seen with Mass Effect, Neverwinter Nights, Dragon Age, Star Wars The Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic. They've got a long history of superb storytelling, and what you can expect from a Destiny or a Division when it comes to the open world, shared world sort of mechanics and skills and gameplay systems. They're looking to mash those two things together in the ultimate collaboration. They're really looking to drive this point home too. There have been a lot of questions about what's going on story-wise, so they are looking to knock as many nails on the head as possible here to reassure us, the player, that BioWare is back on track, especially after the mishap that was Mass Effect Andromeda. They spoke about the free play region, or component, which allows players who are just after some looting and shooting the opportunity to go out there and do just that. Don't have to worry about a story. You can just go out there and explore the world, collect loot. It might help you in future missions or whatever, but you don't have to worry about the hang-up of story-related stuff with friends chirping in your ear. You can just go out there and you can just do what you want, how you want to do it. Then they spoke about Fort Tarsus, which is the single-player component of the game. So this is where everything is based. This is where you jump in your Lance, your mech, and you fly out from. But there's missions, there's side quests, there's communities that are set up here, and all of your interactions with those people have an impact. Choice is an important part of any BioWare game, and it's here at Fort Tarsus that it rears its head the most. We don't know a huge amount about how that's going to look, but BioWare have promised big things, and we're going to talk about some of that next.
We're getting some fire from up ahead.
I'll go low, you flank.
There was one point that was addressed during both the PAX West presentation and the trailer that really struck with me, and it's something that is very reactive to what we saw happen in the case of Mass Effect 3 and concerns that followed Mass Effect Andromeda. BioWare was talking about what they referred to as reactive storytelling. That is their philosophy, that when the game releases, they can go back into the world and they might add characters, subtract characters, change the dialogue systems and trees and what people are saying. And I'm sure that's not through the lens of, I'm going to completely rewrite what this character says, because then all of a sudden you create a disconnect between a player who was there day one and one who joined at day 100. But we're living in a living, breathing world here. Tarsus is a community that is going to keep adapting and building and changing. And maybe it's every week they just sweep through and they just change the conversations that the things that people are talking about. Little subtle things that just means that every time you return to Fort Tarsus, there's something different there to keep you interested. That's an interesting concept, but I hope it doesn't extend any further to what we saw in Mass Effect 3, where they up and changed an ending. Stick to your guns, BioWare. You're great storytellers. Maybe you made one mistake in the past, but don't let it change your whole philosophy towards everything going forward.
This is real-time storytelling, a reinvention of personal narrative in a multiplayer game. As a freelancer, you are the bridge between the heroic adventures discovered in our world and the personal journey that unravels in my story. And ultimately, the key to the fate of everyone.
The fourth point we're going to talk about today is the lack of charge related to DLC. Now, that may not extend to cosmetic stuff. We're seeing a lot of games that are implementing this sort of philosophy where we're not going to charge for DLC except for cosmetic stuff. And that's totally okay as far as I'm concerned. It's up to you if you want to pay for that really sparkly looking suit or that Mass Effect kind of reference suit for your javelin or whatever it happens to be. Like, the choice is up to you there. But there are no gates preventing me from experiencing the same story that you or anyone else will get to experience. And that's fantastic. And look, BioWare are pretty bullish about their storytelling anyway, and it doesn't totally surprise me that this is the case, but it surprises me that EA is party to it. And that's awesome. One to look forward to going forward, especially post-release. As we close things up today, a couple little other facts that came out of the PAX West presentation. First, there is going to be a demo available for Anthem that will begin to roll out on PS4, Xbox One, and presumably PC on February 1st. So that is a few weeks before the game finally releases on February 22nd. And back to this storytelling thing here, they spoke about how this reactive storytelling approach, so the one that allows them to go back post-release and tweak things, will be something that they're going to factor in and consider and potentially implement when it comes to Dragon Age 4 and that game franchise that starts with Mass. They were of course talking about Mass Effect and a fifth Mass Effect game, whatever that ends up being. That is also really interesting. It's almost like Anthem is a testbed for this concept in some ways, in that it is a shared world sort of experience, so everyone's going to see these changes, everyone's going to be interacting with characters as all of a sudden their dialogue changed and everything sorts of tweak. How that will then work in a more solo, singular experience, like a Mass Effect, like a Dragon Age, remains to be seen. But it's an interesting little snippet of information that came from this conference for games that are going to come out further down the line. So that concludes another episode of The Insider. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. All those buttons are down below here, and hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted to every video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, the Video Games Club, The Insider, Player 2 Plays, the Late Game Review, Gamer School, and a heap more. There is some awesome content on our channel, so please be sure to go and check it out. For written content, please visit the website player2.net.au, where you'll find reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, the Player 2 Writer's Draft, and heaps more, all contributed by some of the best talent in Australia. Also, be sure to click that link up there that directs you towards the Player 2 Marathon and the ability to donate towards that. We're looking to raise money for the Terry Campese Foundation this year. The marathon is now just over a week away. Almost everyone who donates will get a prize. That could be an Xbox game, PS4 game, PC, Switch, maybe an accessory. Everyone who donated last year won. We're expecting the same will probably happen this time. Developers and publishers have helped us out incalculably. It's been awesome so far. Help us reach our $3,765 goal. That's us looking to beat last year. Thank you in advance. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, and consider kicking in a few dollars. At the lower tiers, you'll get early access to episodes, such as Patched and such as The Insider. At the higher tiers, you'll get monthly exclusives and the ability to join us in the monthly Player 2 podcast. For rolling updates, you can find me at PaulJamesP2 on Twitter, the website you'll find at Player2AU on Twitter. And until next time, That was all the news story goss relating to Anthem. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.